How would you like to have a retractable exhaust tip on your off-road vehicle? All right guys, hear me out because this is a little bit weird, but very interesting. Ford has put in a patent for a retractable exhaust tip design. Now, we all know with the Bronco and the Raptor, they're supposed to be very off-road focused, and approach and departure angles are, very important when you go off-roading. The exhaust system gets in the way of that sometimes. So Ford's remedy to this is going to be inventing a retractable exhaust tip. Now, patents for this were discovered by CarBuzz, and they were filed in both Germany and the US. It said that they are going to imply installing this on a vehicle that is sold globally. Now, Ford said the reasoning for the retractable tip is simply preventing the exhaust from getting smashed or deformed, restricted even more, or just simply improving your departure angles. Now, my thing is, are we overthinking this? Are we over-engineering something? But I don't know, let's keep going with the article. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So the big question is, how does this work? So according to the article and the patent, it says a retractable tailpipe system may include an exhaust tip physically separate from the exhaust tube in order to allow relative movement between both components. An exhaust tip retract module, ETRM in parentheses, is attached and fixed to the upstream exhaust tube in the rearmost possible position that may also act as the travel limit for the exhaust tip. Now it says the ETRM, or exhaust tip retract module, is going to be configured to have an actuator, a gear, and multiple linear bearings. The exhaust tip itself will be set with extension shafts to mate with the bearings. Now, some of these photos you've been looking at, it gives you a little bit of an idea how the system's going to work, what it's going to look like. Is this going to make production? I don't know. I don't know if this is like Ford overthinking things. Are they just trying to come up with some new gimmick to sell you? And is it necessary? How much is this tailpipe going to retract? And is it going to be worth it? Now, I get the idea and where they're coming from. Take the Raptor, for instance. The tailpipes do stick out past the bumper, and they are a little lower than the bumper. But you could also do what Chevy did with the Silverado ZR2, and that's tuck the tailpipes up behind the bumper. That to me would be a much simpler approach. But I don't know, I guess maybe Ford doesn't like that idea. They want to try something different. My question is this: how much is this retractable tip going to cost the consumer if this does end up hitting production? Because a lot of people like to modify their exhaust anyway. So with a modified exhaust system or an aftermarket exhaust system, they're usually tucked up behind the bumper, or you can tuck them up high for very off-road specific exhaust systems. So if this retractable exhaust tip is going to be a couple $100 option, it's probably not going to be worth it to you, because then you can just buy an aftermarket exhaust that's going to sound better and most likely be more out of the way than this retractable tip. But if you like that gimmicky stuff, there's nothing wrong with that either. I mean, it's kind of neat to have, to say your exhaust tips can move in and out. Big question again, how far is it going to go? Is it going to move 2 inches, 3 inches? Is it really going to be that much more out of the way? But then again, I also guess that's going to depend on how they route the new exhaust system. I don't know, this is a strange patent for me. I don't know what to think about it. I really don't, but I want your opinions down below. If you bought a new Bronco or a Raptor or an off-road vehicle, would you want this retractable tip on your exhaust system? Do me a favor, drop a like on the video, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'm Kevin, and I'll catch you in the next upload.